Yo, we are back in After Effects, and in today's video I'll be breaking down my GUNNR edit which I did for Edit Voice. Like, if you don't already know, Tiny Tips was running a editing contest called Edit Voice, which I made this GUNNR edit on, and then yesterday the results were out and I was actually the winner. So yeah, I really won the editing contest out of like 150 people, I guess. So it's a really cool achievement, and now I decided to leak the sauce to y'all guys and break down some cool effect I did on the video. And also I really appreciate all the support that you guys been showing me. It's actually insane how far we made in few years, and I'm a lot more excited for the future of the channel and how everything goes. So make sure to subscribe to the channel just to make sure you are throughout this journey with me. And also I just want to let you guys know that I just dropped this Switch project file in my website that I'm breakdowning today. So if you want all the sauce, go over to the description and download the project file right now, because I just dropped it like yesterday. And for the next 24 hours, you can add another preset pack and get that for free. So it's a complete steal right now. The winner himself dropped the project file. I know that sounds a little corny, but it is what it is, bro. So if you want to learn all the sauce, go ahead to the description and download the project file right now. But anyways, you can see in my timeline, I have the project file open up right here. So if I play through, you can see this is the edit right here. If you haven't already checked it out, I'll link it in the description. It's on my channel as well. But this edit actually turned out really dope. So I'm just gonna go through this project file and show you some like sauce I used in it. And also, if you want to download this complete project file right here, it will be linked down below. I have the VFX, I have the sequence, I have the color grading and the sound effects as well in it. So it's a complete pack of value. So anyways, firstly, let's just go over to the intro and see what's going on in here. So firstly, I just used the low shutter footage that he sent on the project file, and just like I just speed it up. It's a little sequence, like nothing too crazy in it, with another clip with a Twixtor slow-mo in there right here, and some sapphire hotspot and shit, and this one framer flash right here, as you can see, to transition through. And it created an effect like this, as you can see. At the ending, I used the low shutter again, which is speeded up. Then after that, it moves on to the new scene. I guess this scene is really insane. I wanted to create something unique because the scene was so good. Like, he was like doing a little action in there, which I love. So I just decided to make him float and write the lyrics at top. So you can see it is a text right here, and GUNNR is basically like floating like bats or like a dark energy type shit. This effect is actually inspired by my guy Cookie Faso. He uses these type of effects a lot, so I really took inspiration from him to create this effect. So to achieve this effect, these are all the layers. As you can see, I really like played around with everything to create this look. So firstly, let's just go over this like particle text. How I did it is like I made a text layer. As you can see, it is called text. This is the layer, I guess. Yeah, this is the layer right here. So if we go into this pre-comp, you'll see what's going on in here. If I bring up the transparent grid right here, you can see it is a CC ball action just animated into like this text. So if I go to CC ball action right here, you can see scatter is animated, so it creates an effect like this, as you can see. I guess that looks really hard right there. And if we also go inside of this, you can see this is the text. This is normal text right here. I just pre-comped and added the CC ball action. The font I'm using is Project Buzz right here. As you can see, you can use this font if you like, and just a CC ball action after the pre-comp. And if we go into the main comp right here, then I added some effect to spice it up. So firstly, we got a CC light sweep just to give it some depth and some three-dimensional type of look. So if I turn it off, it adds a little bit of color in there. I love. You can see it gives the text a little bit of lighting and a little bit of depth, which I love. Then after that, if I hide all of these, we have CC Force Motion Blur to add some motion blur in there. I don't know why, but my RSMB wasn't working right here, so I just use CC Motion Blur, the shutter angle of 200 and the motion blur sample to 12, which adds some really cool motion blur in there, makes it more like the bats and those like particle type of effect, and like really helps it to smooth out. As you can see, there's a crazy difference if I turn it on and off, as you can see. Then after that, white drop shadow right here, nothing crazy. Then in it, we also have a heat wave to soften things out and add some movement in there. And lastly, we have a fast box blur. at the beginning. So we have some like blur going on in the beginning, as you can see. So if you see the keyframe, you can see fastbox blur at 12 at first, and as it goes, it goes back to 0, so it shows the text right there. And now the second main thing on this comp is the GUNNR floating. So let me find that layer real quick and show you what's going on there. So I guess these are all the GUNNR floating layers. So let me just like label it blue maybe. So I guess this first comp is the comp where we have all the effects on. So let's just go into this pre-comp, and if we take a look in this pre-comp, you can see this is a floating comp. As you can see in here, there's a bunch of things going on. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of complicated, but it's not that complicated, to be honest, at the same time. But if we go into this as well, you can see firstly I basically like track matted the fractal noise to create a effect like this disappearing kind of effect. Then after that I pre-comped all of these. Then I used a lot of turbulence and CC time to create that floating effect. So if I show you right here, if I hide my first one, this is the CC time which is making it float, but these are all the turbulence. So if you see, you can see this is the first turbulence right here, second turb right here, which makes it even smoother, as you can see. And lastly, we have the floating animation with the CC time keyframed. So if I show you, this is a simple CC time keyframe right here, which would help create this effect right here. So if you want an in-depth tutorial on this effect, let me know, because it is so dope. It is inspired by Cozy. He breaks it down for me. He actually used like a tutorial. He sent me the tutorial. Let me find it real quick on my Discord. Cozy, wait. Let me just go through the chat and show you the tutorial right here. Oh, it's from Wizard VFX right here. So this is the tutorial we use to create this effect right here. Link in the description. It's by Wizard VFX. Cozy actually sent me and told me that he used this tutorial to learn the effect. He's doing it with a PNG, but we like rotoscoped out our subject and did the same thing and got the same results. So big shout out to Cozy and Action VFX for the tutorial. Big shout out to Cozy for letting me know about it. But anyways, moving on, if we go back, you can see that creates that effect right there. In top of it, I used a lot of layers of like smoke elements. If I solo this, you can see it is a lot of like this particle overlays on top to create that effect right there, to give it a little bit of more feel and to get that smoky look. You can see it is like an asset. I guess it's from Action VFX as well. So I used it on top to like blend it in. And other important thing in here is a little bit of like edge blur with some lens flare, maybe a vignette right here. As you can see, vignette gives it that look. And we have a blur mode curve right here. It is actually from a pack. It is simply like a zoom, which gives it a real depth as well. And with the zoom, I also combined like an optic compensation to give that lens kind of look. Looks hard. We got the text. I got this like something like a lighting type of overlay from Footage Crate. I set it to overlay the blending mode, and I got this like flickering type of lights in the back. Looks really hard, I guess. We got a camera lens blur to blur out everything on like the edges, so it focuses on our text. And lastly, we got the background clip, the normal background clip. And yeah, I guess that's it with this comp. As you can see, this is the result right here. Looks absolutely insane. The link will be in the description if you want to check out the actual project file and see it for yourself what's going on and not. So anyways, we are done with this, so we're gonna back out into our main comp right here. Now in my main comp, if you go after this, I have this another comp right here. This comp is pretty simple, not gonna lie. So if I go into this pre-comp, you can see all that's going over here is just like a slow-mo with some particle overlays behind him and in front of him. I guess I used this particle overlay from someone's pack. I'm not sure, but you can just find some particle overlays and use those, as you can see. And if you want to create this like background type of particle effect with the slow-mo, I'll link another tutorial. It is by me. It is also a Cozy effect that I break down, which I used on the video. So wait, let me just find it for you. So if you scroll down into my channel, you can see, where is it? this effect right here, as you can see, hazy particle effects. This is the effect that I use, so you can just go watch my channel and just learn this effect right here. Pretty simple. I also added a zoom with it and some particle overlays on front, as I said. And with it, I use my grunge FX to create this like crazy like distortion kind of effect. If I show you on an adjustment layer, you can see this is a grunge FX preset. If you don't already know, grunge FX is my pack as well. If you want to download grunge FX, I'll link it in the description as well. I also added some flash with it to go with it, as you can see. And mainly what I did here is, if I hide this adjustment layer, you can see I just scaled this layer up and just animated the position so it like slides in. I guess it looks kind of cool, not gonna lie, with some optic compensation for sure. It looks kind of cool. Then to top it off, we just added this like black and white preset from my grunge FX. It's called black and white glow actually. So we added this and got this like crazy effect right here. And then after that, we have this 3D comp right here, which I really love. The 3D is actually not like any type of like, you can say like Blender or anything. It is just some element 3D. So if I go into here, you can see it is an element behind our subject, so it is an element 3D. What I did here is get his chain illustration from one of his video and basically just like masked it out, as you can see. And in element, I selected it as a custom layer marks. If I show you, you can see in custom layer, in custom text and mark, you can see I selected those as the custom text and marks, and in effect just set it to FX and marks. Then I just extruded the model and did all that cool shit to get this result right here. Maybe if I hide all of these effects, you can take a look. You can see this is originally like this. Then I added a camera blur in here with deep glow, so it looked really hard. Maybe if I go into scene setup, you'll get a better example of what I'm talking about. So you can see it is just the extrusion of the cutout that we made in After Effects with a material from Elite Shader, I feel like. So yeah, nothing too complicated right here. And I just animated the position and some multi-object to get the animation with camera blur and deep glow. With the same thing with the chain, I just rotoscoped out the chain and added a deep glow. It looked something like this. I actually really love this comp because it really turned out really like, what you can say, like really clean. So this looks really hard, but let's just move on to our other comp. At top, I also have a hotspot effect right here. We also have a flash. Then moving on, we got this crazy comp. This is another crazy comp right here. Let me render through. You can see this is a really crazy comp right here. It is a long clip, so I decided to like add some zooms and slow-mo to make it interesting, with a title in it as well. The title is actually from my 3D title card pack. So if you don't already know, I got a 3D title pack which allows you to do these type of title in seconds. So let me just show you real quick. If you go over to my website right here, if you go over to SUB, and if you scroll down, you can see 3D title bundle. You can use this to create these type of title right here using element 3D. So it is really hard, as you can see. And basically at starting, you can see this wiggle right here. It is actually from my another pack. I actually used what you can say, like the essential FX. It uses some chroma, like distort chroma and warp to get this like wiggle right here. Maybe let me just show you the essential effect right here. You can say essential effect. I use this. It's called Asim Best Wiggle on essential effects, so you can take a look. You can see right here we also have the GUNNR project file on my site if you want to check it out. And you can see right here in my site we also have GUNNR project file if you want to check it out. Like right now we have one pack free with it for next 24 hours, so it is the best time to get it. But anyways, just moving on. Here we have a zoom with a Twixtor slow-mo. And in the background, you can see there's a lot of stuff going on. Basically, what I did in the background is just added a, what you can say, random sapphire random time type of effect into a background. As you can see, this is a sapphire random edits. And I just animated a Luma key to cut out the sky. So it goes like that. As you can see in the sky, we have the random edits going through, looks hard. If I turn it off, you can see it's a complete, you can see it's just a sky. But if we turn it on, you can see we have the, what you can say, the random edits behind him. Looks really hard picking through. With it, we have some distort chroma to add some texture. We have some flicker, the wiggle from the essential effects, and we also have the black and white glow from grunge effects as well. So with that, it created an effect like this. To top it off, I also have a looks in here, which is giving that color grade and the bloom type of look in there. It looks really hard. And after that, I decided to do something unique, so I added a shake and then let it play for a second and then go into slow-mo with all these like bats overlay around him. It's just bat overlays. I didn't use anything like 3D or something. It's just a bat overlay, as you can see, with the twister in it as well. We also have like a zoom in there, and at the top we have like a chromatic aberration. As you can see, unique chromatic aberration. This chromatic aberration looks really hard and makes it look like it is dreamy type shit. So I really love that. And in another best hit, we have the title coming right here. Title is element 3, as I said, and I have some bat overlay in the back. So we are also done with this comp. So let's just move into our first, like the first bar comp. So this is the first bar comp right here. I know the life I live is pretty selfish. It goes like that. So I wanted to do something with like text where he says selfish. So I made an effect like this, as you can see. Looks really hard. So let's just go into this pre-comp and show you what's going on. Firstly, in here it's a bit overwhelming because so many comp. After all, firstly we have a zoom going on right here with a blur mode curve from a pack. Yeah, blur mode curve right here. And we have a shake as well. And we have a shake as well with a puddle going on, like a sapphire puddle. We also have some like snow overlay on top of it to give the snow. After this, when he says like selfish, I added a hotspot transition right here with all this like grain and a text behind him. In the behind text, basically what's going on is I animated distort chroma and stuff onto the text, so it looks really hard. And I used like a twister overall to add a really cool like slow-mo in there with some black and white and some grain going on and some hotspot. And I have this like zoom in transition at the end, which will go into our another 3D scene right here. If I show you, like this ends with the zoom and our another comp starts with the zoom in, so it creates this like really like smooth transition right here. So that's it for this comp. So let's just move into this like 3D comp right here. So in this 3D comp, basically what it is just some smooth motion. I won't go over all the details on how to do 3D on this video, but basically what's going on is it's just a element layer. If I show you onto the pre-comp, you can see this element just like animated really smoothly, like really smoothly. And for the logo, I did the same thing. Like I maxed out the part and select it as a custom layer for element, and I just basically animated all of those values using different nulls. If I show you, I made like different nulls to like make it a lot smoother, because if you do it inside a single null, it won't look that smooth. So just make sure to do some like nulls and say to add some really smooth motion. Then in the main comp, we got some lens flare and a background color, like a good background color. And I also have a tritone in the beginning to give that purple tone from the text, so it like transitions pretty well. And at the main pre-comp, I have a looks right here. If I go into the settings, it is actually from Design VFX, right? Let it open for a second real quick. And if you go through, you can see all of these effects that I used in here. So you can go through and copy the values. You can see. And yeah, I guess that gets you. I'm just gonna close this one. And I got this like really cool grade of the look. I guess it looked really hard. And then after the 3D animation, I have another scene where this scene is pretty straightforward, I'm not gonna lie. Like glowing lens flare using con light and texture slow-mo. If you want to do this type of lens flare effect, wait, let me just find my tutorial as well, cause most of the shit I do is already done on my channel. So you can see this lens flare transition, it is pretty similar, so you can learn it. So you can learn from here. You can see this is one of my videos, so go ahead and watch this if you want to learn some lens flare effect. With the lens flare effect, I combined some noise and some looks to get that look. So it's just that lens flare on the chain of the artist, and we got some looks in top and some lens flare as I showed, with some flash to like according to the beat. Then now moving on to our second scene, you can see it is a really simple scene right here. It is just a cut. In this I have some like birds flying. It is actually another overlay that I used. I put some behind her and put some front of her to give it that realistic look. Looks really hard. It just overlays. If I go into this comp and show you, it is just some like bad overlays in front and in the back. To the main comp, after this we have a simple clean comp right here as well. Mostly it is just a snow overlay with a really easy zoom right here, and also in here we like stabilize the motion of our like character nose. So the camera is basically moving according to the motion of his nose. As you can see, it is like pretty stabilized. And if we go back into the main comp, I have a look to finish it off. Like in the look, I have some edge blur and some haze going on, which makes this like really like clean comp right here. Then after that, we have this masterpiece comp. I was really proud the way it turned out. It is just some like crazy level of compositing for real. So if you take a look, it is just some like crazy level of compositing, bro. Like every time he says which, you can see we have the fire and the scene changing, which I really love. So if you go into one of these and take a look, you can see it is just some compositing. If you want to composite fire, I also have a video on it. Let me find it real quick. So this is the video right here in the fire compositing. So you can check this out. To video. It is really dope of a video, so go ahead and check it out. It's called how to create and composite fire easily inside of After Effects. So I basically use that method, and with it I just changed the color of the fire and added some particle in the front, like the snow particle, and changed the color of it as well. And to top it off, we have some like Twixtor slow-mo at the end, some text, and at the top we of course have a looks. So if you turn off the looks, you can see the difference on looks color grading right here, the same look that we used on the 3D animation on everything. So this is this comp right here. We also have some zooms in there, and at the end we have some hotspot going on to another effect like sapphire hotspot with some grain. And this another scene is really interesting as well. So if we go into this, you can see at the end when he sees witch, the girl actually disappears. The way I did this is really simple, I'm not gonna lie. So mostly it is just some overlays. So if I hide this and open this pre-comp right here, it is just some overlays right here with some zoom sensitive. So firstly in here we got this wizard landing overlay from footage crate. It is just some like smoke type of overlays to cover it up, like a black smoke. And then after that we have this like glowing purple overlay from footage crate as well. It is also like animated, so it is like comes in. I animated the max expansion, so it is just like comes in and disappears. Looks really hard, as you can see. This is also from footage creator. And to disappear her, I just use a content overfill and to disappear our character, I just roto her and just like invert the roto and go over to the left side where it says content overfill and just hit fill layer right here, and it will create this fill layer which you can just like fade in after like your overlay comes in. It would create this really cool effect. If you're thinking what all these nulls is for, is all of these nulls are for the zoom sensitive, so it just has some like cool zooms right there. Now if we go back into the main comp to top it off, we have some grain in here with some twister at the end, and a shake as well, and a really simple shake as well using sapphire shake. Then now we have another flash which goes into this reverse effect. This is actually a real reverse which Tiny Tapes actually gave on the video, so it is really dope. He gave that and I just put it over here using some flash. And after this we have this really dreamy comp right here. Basically in here we pretty much got the same thing going on, not gonna lie, but we got some like unique effect in here. So if I go into this comp, you can see there's a lot going on, but basically what I'm doing here is just like doing a random effect. Like I exported a random edits and use like sapphire distorts to distort around our footage using the random edits using different blending modes. So basically, if you got an idea how to edit, you might already got an idea on how I did this. But basically it's that, like if I play through, you can see the distortion it is going through. It is just some like sapphire distort connected to the random edits, so it will create this like really cool animation type of effect. This right here is solid with the roughen edges. So we got this like this type of effect right here. Actually we added a shake right here, so it looks really hard. Then we go back to this main comp. We just have an adjustment layer with a wiggle position to add some wiggle, a curve, a lens dart, and a warp bubble, and a warp bubble right here, which is the essential effects preset, a sim best wiggle from the essential effect. And at the top we got the sauce right here. Actually we firstly got a film damage right here, which adds a little bit of like defocus once in a while. You can see I only have like defocused on in there. And in our main like pre-comp we got a sauce in here, so we have a chromatic aberration to give some chromatic aberration to make it more dreamy type shit. Then after that we have a deep glow 2, which adds this crazy glow. As you can see, for the deep glow 2 you can copy these settings right here and you will get this results. Like I really love like messing around with deep glow 2. The possibility of deep glow 2 is actually insane, especially on like those magical type of effects, bro. You can really go all in. But anyways, if we go back, we got another adjustment layer with the looks to master it all. At the end we have a zoom out transition as well, so it like zooms out with a hotspot and goes back into this clip, into the second scene. And in here there's a lot going on. Let me just play it through so you can like process it. So you can see this is the comp right here. He was saying like the Glock switch, so I decided to animate a 3D Glock using element 3D. I animated a 3D Glock, as you can see. So if I go into here, it is a simple animation where the Glock flips around and shows the switch right here, as you can see, switch. And at the end I just decided when he says switch, we're gonna add a flash and just like make it like a freeze frame, as you can see, and just call out the text switch. I did this throughout the video. Whenever he like shows off like guns, I decided to add a text with like a border in around there to like show the switch, as you can see. That looks super hard. And if you're wondering how I got this like mixed media look, it is just like MXM, as you can see, MXM with like a tritone at top, like tritone to give that purple look. And if you're living under a rock and you don't know what MXM is, it is actually a plugin. Let me just show you real quick. If you go into site fritpele.tv and go into MXM, you can see this is the plugin which allows you to create the mixed media look right here. I really love this. So if you want to download this, you can use the code Asim to get $5 off. It's like completely dope, like one of my favorite plugin for sure to create like mixed media and see. But anyways, with that, you can see we have this comp right here. We also added like flashes and just like switches the scene whenever he says switch. That got us results like this. At the beginning we also have a zoom, so it smoothly like transition from our last clip to this clip right here. And right here we almost have our final comp. So let me just render it real quick. So in this final comp we ain't got like much going on, but in here Basically, I just rotoscoped out my subject and added a shake in there with some like shock wave at the behind. And with the shock wave, I added like a sapphire distort to add some like impact to the footage as well. So it is just a shock wave overlay from YouTube and some shake right here, creating this really cool effect. And if we go back in the top adjustment layer, we added looks to give the sign and the color grade right here. And to give the sign and the color grade right here, we got the hotspot at the end, transitioning into this like lyrics effect at the end. So at the end, it is just a lyrics like written down. So if I show you like this, and at the top, I just added a glow. And we got an effect like this. That's a deep glow if you are wondering. So yeah, with that, we gone through all the video, all the VFX. I hope you learned something new. And if you want to go in depth and try out everything for yourself, I'll link the, the project file down below. As I said, the winner himself giving the project file. I know that sounds corny, but yeah, I'm giving the project file for y'all. So go ahead and just download it. If you have the budget, you won't regret it for real. But that's it for today's video, guys. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like button and also subscribe to the channel, for more videos like this. Follow me on Instagram because I'm trying to get to 3K follower on Instagram as well, and I'm trying to hit 10K follower on YT as well. But anyways, I'ma see you on the next one. Peace.